Carbon emissions play a major role in climate change. Here in Kirklees, the Council and Kirklees Environment Partnership, KEP, strive in enforcing that carbon emissions are at a low in the area. Can you tell me a bit more about the conference that is taking place here at the university?
Yeah, the conference will take place on the 28th of November in Quayside at the University of Huddersfield, and it represents a great opportunity for local people as well as students to come and hear experts talk about how climate change affects us locally.
It's also a chance for students in the local community to gain links and connections with people that are experts on that field.
What are the effects of having high carbon emissions?
Of carbon dioxide among ocean, landscape and atmosphere tend to balance. They are in perfect harmony. However, today the human activities have contributed substantially to the global warming by adding too much of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and other heat-trapping gases, which therefore leads to global warming and the depletion of natural resources, starting from deforestations to increased use of air conditioning in houses.
Local governments up and down the country invest thousands a year to meet targets that reduce low carbon. What common habits do you think we can change in our day-to-day lives in order to live in a more eco-friendly way?
Well, I would start that if you have a walking distance to work or school, you can switch to walking actually rather than driving a car, or consider using like commuting, like bus, public transportation. Also try to limit your waste or recycle what you have left. Try to eat less meat and buy local produce, so to reduce the transportation. For example, boil just as much water as you need for your coffee or tea. Consider using reusable cups or thermoses or bidons. Coffee shops are happy to refill them rather than giving you a plastic cup. These small little things make a difference if millions of us will make this change.
Fears that global warming is driving humanity towards a whole new level of risk.
I feel it's important that everyone has a role to play in keeping carbon emissions low in this area. It is not a role that should be shared by just a handful of people. I feel that everyone can contribute to it and reap benefits from it.
Did you know around 15% of carbon released in the environment is due to deforestation and change in use of land? Do you feel that the current issues in climate change are affecting us locally? If so, then how?
I think there's two examples I can give about how climate change is affecting us locally. The first is the unseasonal weather that we've seen in the last few weeks. So this year's been the warmest year on record to date, and we've seen much warmer weather recently than we would expect, and that's been accompanied by very heavy rainfall. So things like the risk of flooding is one thing that we're going to have to get more used to in the future. The other impact of this kind of changing climate is on food production. So we can see harvests that gets disrupted, and a good example of that was a couple of years ago where there was a kind of fairly catastrophic grain harvest, kind of not just in the UK but globally, which has an impact on food prices. So things like basic stuff like loaves of bread costing more, so impacting on the cost of things in people's pockets as well.
Vehicles like trucks contribute 20% of carbon emissions in the UK. But carbon dioxide is not the only contributing gas. Other gases like methane and nitrous are far more dangerous than carbon dioxide alone. As a community, it is important that we do not ignore issues regarding climate change, such as carbon. For more information, head down to the University of Huddersfield for the Towards a Low Carbon Kirklees conference at 10:30. This is Ayo Akiodi reporting for Kirklees Local Television.